Alright, we are back into Final Fantasy, and hopefully today, this stupid internet stays connected and doesn't disconnect me every 30 minutes again. That said, let's go back to the story where we left off. Let's see if it has... I was in the middle of a cutscene last time when it died, and I hope that cutscene... I hope that we can go finish it and go start it over. I think so. Are we gonna watch it again here? It's looking like we might. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. We get to watch it again. Whew. That's good. Well, Zero. Oh, Zero's so cool. Cute little goth tsundere girl. Ugh. All the characters in this game have to be so good.
Is this an inn? What happened? How did I get here?
Anyways, it's movie time. Can be quiet and listen and watch.
There's no time. I must rejoin the battle. I must...
Oh, you're awake! Wonderful!
See, there are things that I could say, but like I already said them last time.
Some sort of fiend?
During the cutscene.
A fiend?
When
Where is it?
It all cut out. Oh, so this interaction's pretty good because I'm sure from the void she has never seen a Matanga.
You're in the source, my dear.
Oh, does think she's some kind of a monster.
Next door, so to speak. The others brought you here after you collapsed. I'll fetch them at once. Wait, just a moment.
Now it's apple time. Gotta love apples.
I took the liberty of arranging refreshments.
Salvation!
I hope you find them as flavorful as they are invigorating.
This isn't what you promised. I suppose ether is ether.
That's one way to eat it. Oh, technically, isn't there still some ether left in that apple? Like,
Wait,
it's not disappeared.
Don't tell me
There's
you
still,
don't know how to
even
eat.
if it's rotten, there's still some of it left, right? So
What's the problem?
there's still something you can get out of that apple,
Where's
Zero.
the enjoyment in that? You're supposed to bite, to chew, to savor, and then swallow.
Nom, nom, nom. I'm nice and tired.
That's the way. So, did it taste good?
I don't know.
We're catching up to where it cut out
The long
last
years
time.
without eating may have dulled your sense of taste.
Talk about taste a little bit. Actually,
Well,
we need to
we've
wait till
always said
Varshan's
no
like,
need
tell
to
me
search
about
when
your
consuming
homeworld and I'll
others.
tell you about mine. And Zero's like, maybe we're friends.
There are some who speak of taste when describing the quality and affinity of their prey's ether. But I loathe the act. Taking ether in small amounts like this is one thing. But diluting my essence, diminishing myself, I'd sooner die. And I have died. Countless times.
What? She's died?
You have? But what happens when you do?
Not much. After a while, you return, together with all your expended life force. The important thing is to die where others won't devour you.
Yeah, so like, in the source here then,
My peers who
if you
study
just
immortality
flood
and
yourself
resurrection
with
would be most
dark
interested in this
aspected
phenomenon.
aether right before you die, and
The
like,
question of taste aside,
will it sort of like
I am glad that
keep
you
your
are able
soul
to partake of
around
food
and
like
rebirth
us.
it? I don't
I
know.
dare say it agrees with your personal preferences.
There's some things that we have yet to learn about how
That's
the world
true.
works.
You can keep giving me the same on a regular basis.
Very well. As my guest, I shall see that you do not want for comfort. And one other thing.
Oh, here we go. One other thing.
We brought you to our world without your consent. And for that, I apologize. If you wish it, we will return you to yours once you have regained your strength.
It's fine. I have no reason to go back. Except for yours, perhaps. You intend to cross over again, I take it.
I do. I have yet to find my sister. I want nothing more than to rush to her aid, to find this Golbez and free her from his clutches, if he still holds her captive.
Though if our recent experience has taught us anything, 'tis that the 13th is more dangerous than we ever imagined. Caution must be our watchword.
Better late than never. In the short time you spent in our world, you left a trail of chaos in your wake.
Okay, we're getting close.
You managed to return in one piece this time. But don't assume you'll be so lucky the next.
I assume I was like almost done with
Rest
the
assured,
cutscene.
we will make no assumptions and spare no preparation.
Spared no expense.
Speaking of which, while we rest and ready ourselves, I ask that you tell me more about your home.
And I will tell you about
In
mine.
return, I will tell you about ours. I will show you my domain, Radzet Han.
Again, a stranger in this strange land.
Okay, and then right here's where it cut. So this is all new here.
I have a condition. You must come
Okay,
too.
never mind. I think this is where it cut. Gladly.
You have my thanks.
See, why is Zero so attached to me? It's because we have the same soul. She's an Azam shard. Come on, Zero, let's go. Invigorated just standing here in the breeze. Glad I am to hear that. So, is there any place in particular you wish to see? Perhaps where that food came from. Apple, was it? While I don't expect I'll collapse again, it would be good to know where I can procure more if necessary. Merid's Mayan it is, then. I shall introduce you to the head waitress, Milail. Varshan and Zero, keep at your side. Yes, best companions, Varshan and Zero. Let's go. Yes. I can't sing very well. I can't remember. Would they follow you through Aetherites? I don't know. I can't remember if they do or not. But I almost don't want to. I want to run around with the squad. Trying to check the map to make sure I don't miss any conversation points, but it's looking like there aren't many to be had. Alright, let's go through here. Over the edge. Now it looks like it's just straight to the food place. Look at all the people. Again, there's my not singing ability. Talking. Discuss moods Mayan. This is the place. The air is different here, and I speak not of the heat. There's a texture to it, a fullness, unlike that of elsewhere. You smell the cooking, I believe. Hanish cuisine is quite fragrant and delicious. I hope you will agree. Are you gonna say the same thing? Oh no. We could attempt to introduce you to Mayreed herself, but Melio is more likely to be available. Melio! Mikulio. My Indian accents are not great. Welcome to Mayreed's Mayan. Greetings, Melio, and may I introduce you to Zira? She is an esteemed guest, and I ask that you see to her meals during her stay. Ah yes, Mayreed has told me all. Please, come to us whenever you're hungry. We'll look after you. It was here that Twyra attained the apple. While the palace cooks can prepare whatever you desire, it is certainly a quick and convenient food. I'll remember it. Who are the ones there, moving their bodies about? Is it for some ritual related to eating? No, it's for fun, it's dancing! The dancers? They move their bodies to bring pleasure to those who are watching. It is a form of entertainment, part of our culture. How needlessly complicated. We voice and prefer simpler pleasures. That may be the way of it now, but your world too must have had such complicated diversions once. I don't remember. Well, let us move on. I propose we visit Balshan Bazaar, where goods the world over may be found. As I can't talk and lisp and slur, not slur, just lisp my way through everything. Okay, time to test this will follow you through an Aetherite. Oh, we don't even have to go that far, really. It's like right here. This is not really showing up on the map. Run, 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 run. Roshan have anything to say? No, just zero. What are all these things for? What do you do here? This is a marketplace where people buy and sell goods. Since its earliest days, Radzatan has served as a trading hub, and here you'll find not only local products, but wares from distant lands. I should mention that the vendors generally only accept payment in coin or tomestones. If there's aught you desire, I shall take care of it. So that's what tomestones are for. Whitesent returned with them on occasion, but I never knew their purpose. They struck me as useless trinkets, and I couldn't understand your obsession with them. On that subject, there appear to be no shops in the 15th. Do you never make bargains in which possessions are exchanged? We do, but rarely. We strike bargains when we want something done. If we desire an object, we kill whoever has it. I see, I see. Your bargains may be likened to employment, I believe. I shall bear this in mind. With that, let us continue on. I propose we head to the High Crucible of Alchemia. To the High Crucible! Run, 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 run! So... this way, yeah. Where we go? Oh, to you. Hello. Why, Master Vitra, how may we serve you this day? If you're here for your vessel, I'm afraid we're still tending to it. No, there's no rush. Pray take as much time as you require, and know that I have complete faith in your work. The High Crucible is home to the finest alchemists. They are the ones who create my bodies, and can provide you with healing as well. Now that I think on it, you weren't at all surprised when I changed forms. Were you aware of my nature from the start? That I was a soul, occupying a vessel not my own? It's hardly uncommon in our world. When given the chance, many shed their bodies to claim stronger ones. Oh, you must be the rumored guest. We've been most eager to meet you. If you have a moment, would you care to stay for some tea? The sisters know we'd love to hear your tales. No, I've had enough food for now, and can always obtain more without the need for inane chatter. Now, no need to decline outright. I dare say you are tired, so to save it for another time and return to Megaduta. If aught catches your eye en route, do not hesitate to say so. Windows will complete by event speaker 0. Okay. So let's see, is there going to be something that pops up that they're interested in and want to talk? Is it just the one? I only see one thing on my map here. So I think this is just the one spot that we have to go to. Come on, run! That's fine. Let's see where, no, yeah, it's out here, okay. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, this looks like cutscene time? Yeah, cutscene time. Some sort of fruit? Pitiful things, though. I imagine you'd need to eat a lot to derive any satisfaction. These are mulberry trees. While the fruits are indeed edible, more important are the leaves, which we feed to silkworms. Without the creatures, we wouldn't have the silk to make our famous Thavnarian weave. Furthermore, the bark of the tree also possesses medicinal properties. You would be hard-pressed to find a more useful plant. Is that so? Aside from food, I wouldn't have considered any other purpose for it. Master Vitra, and Huayra too! Familiar boy, who's this familiar boy? It isn't young Merad, and that must be your sister, Yasha, as well. Yasra is all well at the orphanage? Okay, I like vaguely remember these two. Yes, Your Excellency. The other children are very nice, and we all look out for one another. Oh, just the other day, Estinian came to see us. Everyone was really excited. Truly, Estinian paid you a visit? That is well. Aw, Estinian has a soft spot for orphans. Is she a new friend? Friend? You know what that is? What? You mean you don't? She's a visitor from a faraway land, you see, and is still unfamiliar with our language. Then we'll teach you. A friend is someone you like to play with. Play with? She just wants to know what friends are. That's her big quest. Zeno seemed to be enjoying himself when he fought you. Is that the same thing? More or less. I mean, kind of. I see. But is having someone to play with so fulfilling? I still do not understand why. Why he traversed the great expanse. Why he risked life and limb. For you. But I waste enough energy dwelling on such things. I am not Xenos. I stand to gain nothing by knowing his heart. I'm sorry I couldn't explain it well. There's no need to apologize. The fault is not yours, but mine for failing to make sense of your words. Aww. She can be like, I can be your friend. Well, we'd better get back to our errand. Goodbye. It's nice meeting you. Bye! I give a big wave. It's like a cat where they do like the long slow blink and it means that they trust you. Through Xenos, I thought I understood the ways of your world. But the more I learn of it, the more I realize how little I actually know. It's all so strange. Your behavior and your reasons. I find myself baffled at every turn. But the feeling is not unwelcome. I'm learning bit by bit. It was the right decision to join you. Aww. She doesn't regret it. Buried memory. Okay, this is it. This is the last one. I believe Zero's time here has been rewarding, and was in no small part due to your company. My thanks for agreeing to join us. Come with yawning time. Come, let us return to Megaduta. Megaduta. Boo 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 boo. Run, run, run. Do spin move. Reverse spin. Oh, can't quite double reverse spin. Okay, now you gotta go up the stairs. Oh, I'm so yawny. Very tired. Not very professional. Welcome back. Will we be heading to the guest chambers? Yes. Yeah, it's looking like the internet connection is much better today. So, it's good to see. Is this talking? Come on, talk.
So, what are your impressions of Radzatan?
There's a lot of mortals.
Considering your origin, I can see why that might be your first observation. Though they would call each other people, I think. If you wish to know about our fair city, I should be glad to place a guide at your disposal.
No need. I'll show myself around. There's only so much about my home I can share with you in return, after all. While I remember some few tales of the past, I cannot speak to their authenticity. But if that is enough, then I will tell you of the events that saw darkness engulf our world. The Contra Memorial.
Yeah, how'd it happen? I feel like we kind of know some of it. Unikailu and the others.
We are all ears. Please.
We've explained some of what happened.
Long ago, light filled the world and all was at peace. But then the servants of darkness came, and they bequeathed a black art unto men. Channeling the power of hope and prayer, one could call forth fearsome beings known as Eidolons.
The Asians. And these Eidolons are surely primals.
Yep, it's the same story.
Then you have faced the same, and understand that when an Eidolon is birthed, strife follows. And in such strife, the weak are the first to suffer. When it seemed the world would be plunged into chaos, heroes appeared. They who were blessed with a singular power. The power to bind the ether of Eidolons within crystals known as memoria. My mother was one such memoriate, but in fighting to save many, she herself was touched by darkness, as was I.
And so you were born part void sent, before the world was overcome.
How exactly did that calamity come to pass? Did the Memoriates not triumph?
They did, but it was unexpected.
They did.
Yeah, see?
They
Exactly.
expunged the seeds of chaos and restored the peace, only to find themselves seduced by the darkness they had sealed.
It's the plan all along. It's manipulated by Ascians.
They spread the taint, transforming men into monsters, what you call void sent, and raised armies to wage new wars.
Not the first to be corrupted by power, nor the last.
Some defied temptation and held fast to the light. My mother and I among them. For years and years we fought, but it was not enough. And when our strength was spent, our bulwarks broken, so too was the world.
The flood of darkness.
The stars faded from the heavens as a pall black as pitch enveloped creation. Darkness raged unchecked, rending the very walls of reality. I was cast into the rift, and there trapped for what felt like an eternity. Until I came upon a crack. Tiny, infinitesimal, but enough for me to squeeze through. And find my world changed beyond recognition, into the lightless waste you saw.
So that is how you were able to escape becoming a void sent in full.
He was conveniently in the rift.
I suppose I should consider myself fortunate. Were I like most others, I wouldn't have lasted a day before being devoured. We, the lost, are better equipped to survive in a lost world.
A lost world, you say?
We know a thing or two about saving
I wouldn't
lost
be
worlds.
so sure. The 13th is still there, is it not?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's save them.
What are you getting at?
Let's bring it back.
To explain requires that we initiate you into the truth of the source and its reflections. We warned that this will take a while.
Oh, Lord Dumper. See, we're looking at her because we know that she's us. She's got the Azem glint in her soul. She's got
Then,
war bombed.
unlike the worlds that have been rejoined, mine still...
The Oracle of Light prevented the first from being completely overcome. So the situation may not be completely identical to that of your 13th. But the fact remains that we were able to restore a measure of balance to a world brought to the brink of destruction. After which, some intrepid young souls succeeded in restoring life back to lands thought lost to light.
Yeah, because it did the raids.
Which gives me cause to hope the day may yet come when life springs forth anew in the 13th. Of course, these are only possibilities, I offer no guarantees. But having experienced what we have, I dare say we are more qualified than most to speak on the matter.
True. Who would know better about this kind of stuff
Wait.
than us?
I don't understand. Why would you say these things? As if you mean to... But the sole reason you came to the Void was...
To find a dragon, aye. And in light of what we've seen, we'd be fools to strive for more.
But fools we are.
But we scions, former scions, begging your pardon, have a habit of not leaving well enough alone. And old habits die hard, don't they, my friend?
Yes, they do. Let's go save them.
Restoring the light would serve our efforts to find and free Ashdaya. There is no reason not to try.
But her transaction-centered mind just doesn't
Do as
get
you
why
will.
we would do it.
I have no desire to save that world.
Aw, come on.
Be that as it may, we will have need of your power when next we face Void Scent.
You know how it works. If you want my help, you must pay my price. And now that you've drawn Golbez's attention, it's going to cost you more. A lot more. I will consider this a deposit.
She's willing to be a little friendly and helpful. Aw, it's fun. And we're gonna go save the 13th! Oh, this is it, the end. Our time in the Void was short. We managed to ascertain that my sister yet lives, and it cannot be overstated how fortunate we are to have met Zero. But the greater blessing is nevertheless you, my friend, for your encouragement to embark upon my search anew, and your help in overcoming the challenges thus far. Little void slug? Where'd he come from? Golbez and his minions will seek to stymie our efforts, of this we can be sure. But with you all at my side, I have confidence that we will succeed, that we will find and liberate my sister, and that we shall return home together. Nod. What? That's it! Pizza chart, pizza chart. I'll just take the... the food's probably worth more if you just take food. Critical hit, spell speed. Pumpkin ratatouille, sure. Bum. Oh, more cutscenes? There's always more cutscenes. It's like 2 of his generals, huh? Is that little slug reporting in?
First Scarmiglione, and now Barbaricia. Useless, the both of them.
It was no lie. They conspire with a Memoriad.
And their search for the dragon will lead them here. The war looms nigh. We cannot allow these interlopers to interfere.
If If I may, my lord, I have a plan to eliminate them.
Ooh, a plan.
In order to guarantee its success, however, I will require Kanyanso's cooperation.
Kanyanso?
Now there's sport to be had, then I'll play along. As much as I dislike following your lead, I have no patience for scheming.
Well and good to have confidence, but do not forget the cost of failure.
Rest assured, I will see the dream to fruition. Even should I be consumed by my own flames, I will pave the way for one and all.
I have a feeling we're gonna win. This guy's pretty
Then
confident.
I will trust in your oath and your plan.
We will give you cause to rejoice, my lord. This I vow. Some excitement for a change.
Let's get some clanky armor. And figure out, like, who he is or something.
No sacrifice is too great. Even should my 4 archfiends be lost, I will not halt my steps. The prison of passivity is an obstacle to my cause, and so you must fall.
It's looking kind of Asian summoning circle.
What irony that the blessed damned should set us free.
Looks like he's cutting down an Asian there. I have to watch some lore explanation video to see what's going on there.
The gate lies open. At long last, my ambition shall be fulfilled!
Cool. In realms long lost to dark, may find in memory rebirth's spark. Take a picture of that, that's cool. Into the light. What title does that get us? Void Bound. Anyways, I believe. Okay, so yes, I'm back to first round. MSQ, we will see you again in probably what, like December-ish? No, because I know it's what, like every 4 months? 3 months? See you again in 3 or 4 months, MSQ. But for now, it's time to teleport over to Elpis. I can't remember which of any of these are. This one. And continue the raids! Or not continue, to start the new section of the raids. You know what I mean. Do we need to actually go into Pandemonium there? That's a lot of side quests. Holy cow. Yeah, it seems like we might need to head actually over to Pandemonium, I think. And I didn't really look up where to go to pick it up, but we will go check it out. Do the stories. Through this tree. Swoop. Oh, is this a gate to Pandemonium? Oh, looks like this might be it. There's people here watching cutscenes. Pandemonium. Why do I feel like this is not where we go? Oh, maybe it is. I see people up there. Okay, but they don't seem as next time. What do you have to say? There's no one here pose any threat. But her reply seems entirely untroubled. She has the utmost faith in us, apparently. I must do what I can to not disappoint her. Of course she does. She would, nothing, okay. She would obviously have the utmost faith in us. Okay, so that's not where you go? Where do we go? To Elpis. Where do we go? Is it not in Elpis that we go to somewhere? Okay, gotta check something really quick. Okay, the patch notes. Wait, what kind? MSQ, Pandemonium. Put those. Chronicles of New Era quest. Who wards the warders? Wait, what quest is that? Oh, wait, that's the last one. Wait, so... Oh, right. That's right. Okay. We go to... Where maybe? I can't remember. We go here, that's right, because this is where the quest ended, because we came. That's right. That's right. Okay, this is... Oh, this was the right one. It's good to know that, I still remember which of these places are the right ones to go to. There we go. Ooh, look at that eye. That's a cool looking eye. Lyra, I've made a breakthrough. After uncountable days and nights, I finally hearkened unto the crystal's whispers, and I must say... Well, if one wants to listen, huh? Professor Claudian, where are your manners? While I understand all too well your enthusiasm, I must remind you that even the most academically inclined prefer a composed recounting of events. Ah, yes, of course. My apologies, Lyra. Being consumed by my research for so long, I'm afraid I have quite forgotten how to engage in civilized conversation. In that case, perhaps we should start from the beginning, with the crystal set adrift upon the ethereal tides, containing the memories of a party yet unknown. They cried out for deliverance from Pandemonium, where the ancients kept volatile creatures under lock and key. You yourself witnessed the power devouring the facility from within, and the advent of a divine monstrosity wrought of mythic beast and powerful mage. Fortunately, your martial prowess and the combined magical talents of your companions Themis and Ericthonius was sufficient to restore order to the Circle of Asphodelos, but the greater threat remains. In the depths of Pandemonium, a presence yet stirs, its intentions and identity shrouded in mystery. That is the issue at hand, is it not? Nodders. Since you returned to us, we worked tirelessly to discern the nature of the crystal. In the process, I yawned. I detected an anomalous etheric signature, which I believe arose from the memories stored within it. Analysis of this pattern suggested a feeling of loss or yearning, specifically the yearning to be made whole. And indeed, ambient readings have revealed a faint but identical signature. This can only mean that another such crystal exists in our time. Huh? So, my friend, I must depart to search for it forthwith. By tracing the matching etheric signature to its source, I believe it will be a simple matter to find our crystal's twin. Professor, will this expedition be carried out only by us, or will Lyra grace us with her protection? No. I'm afraid she has more pressing matters to attend to, my dear Grusinod, namely to seek out the secrets which lie nestled within Pandemonium, where this all began. From all that we have heard, it appears that time traversal from the Crystal Tower is not fluid. That is to say, one can but travel in predetermined intervals. It would be prudent to check in on occasion in case there are any unanticipated changes. As for you, my loyal assistants, I would ask you to remain here and continue cataloging the ancient creations. You can't mean you intend to search for the crystal on your own? Why, yes, that would be the most efficient use of resources, would it not? In fact, I have already commissioned a ship and pilot for that very purpose. I trust you to take good care of the laboratory in my absence. This reminded me of Sky Pirates, and then reminded me that I have done all the Sky Pirates, since that was one of the things with the new, Tatru questline, which I also need to do. So, get around to that, along with Mandeville, which I'll also get around to. I apologize for that somewhat abrupt departure. When progress is in sight, Professor Claudian tends to become blind to all else. Indeed, and he has been worse than usual. While I cannot fault him for his excitement, I do wish he would spare a thought for those around him. For reasons unknown, the crystal seems loath to be overheard, much as it spoke only to you last time. None but the professor has been able to capture its ethereal yearning, which has served only to convince him that he can solve this puzzle on his own. Surely, after some time alone, he'll come to remember how valuable we are. The search for this crystal seemed to be a simple enough matter. Let him have his adventure, and upon his return, I'm certain he'll be back to his usual self. As for you, Lyra, it may be best to return to Pandemonium, as Professor Claudian suggested. Speaking of which, I did have a request of my own to make. Traveling to Pandemonium requires you pass through Elpis, correct? There is something I would have you investigate in my stead. While those creations confined within Pandemonium are considered to be failures, I doubt that's their whole story. Barring exceptional cases, they must have been under observation in Elpis before being consigned to their shackles. And if we know anything about the ancients, it's that they would have kept thorough records of the results. Ah, brilliant! Delving into these records may shed light on creatures Lyra has yet to encounter, if your theory proves correct, that is. While there are no guarantees, it certainly beats the current strategy of rushing forward blindly, with only her strength to carry the day. For your own sake as well as ours, please unearth what information you can. Got it. Bow and curtsy. So we go to Elpis, we steal some records, and then we fight some monsters. Okay. Teleport to here. Teleport and poof. And then... oh, it's Butterfinger. I love the Butterfinger mount. Like Themis is out here now. I did not expect to meet you here of all places. You seek records of Pandemonium's creations. Master Themis, oh bye, Cloudpiercer, has just finished perusing the very same. I should not be surprised that we both arrived at the same conclusion. Luckily, I have saved you the trouble and gleaned what information I could. Ah, so you know each other. I was dreading having to once again scour the archives, but perhaps instead I'll rest for a spell. If there's nothing else, I shall take my leave. I should be, for I have undone the warding sigil blocking the entrance to Abyssus. I came here merely to chase an idle suspicion while awaiting your return. Fortunately, while Pandemonium's protective wards continued to be assailed by our unknown foe, there have been no fluctuations so great as to make me doubt Ericthonius's capacity to keep watch over Asphodelos while I'm away. He works diligently to master internment, that he might deliver the creations back to their cages by his own hand. I thought it best to give him time to hone his craft. Need some more airy voice. And since fate has brought us both here, I would ask you to accompany me while I attend to another matter. More idle suspicions that I would like to chase down. Rest assured, it shall not take long. I simply have a few questions to ask an acquaintance of mine. Come, he has agreed to meet us near the news to Pandemonium. Turn on auto run and we just start flying. And get a drink. Gotta love H2O. Good old water. Just enjoy some nice, quiet peacefulness. Oh. Past it. There we go. As I have poured. So yawny. As I have pondered our expedition into Pandemonium, I could not help but be mystified by how strongly the warders we encountered felt for Wahabre, whether it be for good or ill. Hesperos and Ericthonius were two sides of the same coin. The former looked to his mentor with absolute devotion, while the latter looks to his father with bald hatred. I would not expect a familiar such as you to understand this, but such extreme emotions toward a single individual are quite rare indeed. Naturally, I feel gratitude toward my mother and father, yet we are all equals in the larger picture of the star. This view is not unique to myself. It is more or less accepted as the way of things. By contrast, the researchers of Pandemonium seem to view Wahabrea with a feeling approaching obsession. Whether driven by love or hate, they have all been drawn to him. there were many other aspects of the facility's particulars I found troubling besides. I decided the best course of action would be to go straight to the source and pose my questions to a member of the Wards of La Habrea. My apologies to have kept you waiting, Master Themis. I understand you are conducting an investigation of Pandemonium, and wish to know of its origins. Indeed. In particular, I wish to know why exactly Pandemonium was built directly under Elpis. The facility is overseen by the Wards of La Habrea, after all. Why keep it so close to Elpis, whose governing body has no say in its day-to-day operations? At first I thought it to be simply a matter of convenience. Those creations, which were deemed failures by the researchers of Elpis, could be easily ushered into their new homes. Imagine my surprise when a trip to the archives revealed that many of the creations were sent from organizations beyond Elpis, including from the Wards of La Habrea themselves. Given this, albeit limited information, I cannot but feel that Academia in Nider would have been a more fitting locale. What does Elpis have that cannot be found there? These are fitting questions, and ones we have asked ourselves many times in recent years. Alas, the nature of Pandemonium's construction does not lend itself to relocation. When first it was built, circumstances weren't as they are now. As we surmised, the majority of the creations kept within Pandemonium were sent from Elpis. Yet, as the years passed, interests changed. Failures in creations deemed too flawed even to submit to Elpis paradoxically drew the attention of Pandemonium's researchers. That is quite the change, and in fact it almost runs counter to the facility's original purpose. Who is it that decides which creations will be the subject of research? Master La Habrea. Such authority is reserved for the chief keyword, and he has taken it upon himself to step into that role. So, if Pandemonium's resources were being misused, it would be under La Habrea's authority, correct? I know not what you're suggesting, but the keywords also hold some sway within the facility. Not even Master La Habrea would be free from their scrutiny. They are duty-bound to report any irregularities as soon as possible. Although I admit, as of late, their communication has been somewhat sporadic, but we recently received a report from one of the keywords stating that all is well within Pandemonium's halls. Really? And you are certain that a keyword sent it? Yes, of course. Our communications suffered a temporary obstruction, but I can assure you that the wards did their due diligence in confirming the identity of the sender. Thank you. This information will be helpful to my investigation. That will be all for my prying. Then I shall take my leave. While you are yet permitted to conduct your investigation freely, I must remind you that the warders' work is delicate, and it would be remiss to disturb them for longer than is necessary. They're covering something up. Because we've been down there messing with stuff. All is well. A blatant lie, and to that we can both attest. One of the remaining keywords is most certainly in league with the party behind this. Let us hurry. I know not why our adversary sent that report, but it is plain that we must return to Pandemonium with haste. Nodders. Alright, to Pandemonium! Alright, Themis, let's go. I cannot guess as to why this false report has arisen now, but it certainly bodes ill, as does the knowledge that our mysterious mastermind has at least one more keyword to puppet. Regardless, they have tipped their hand, and we would be remiss to leave Ericthonius at the mercy of their machinations. Let us hope no harm has befallen her. Alright. That's cool. being bad or is he practicing? Looks like he's practicing. Not quite. I've traced these sigils countless times, yet still I lack the strength to maintain the spell. And now time works against me. I can no longer be victim to my own ineptitude. What? Who goes there? It's the evil eye! There is something to be admired in such single-minded effort, even if your methods leave much to be desired. You allowed this familiar to catch you unawares. Have you set your sights so high as to forget you walk upon the earth? I know this creature, a familiar of the Phoenix, but that monster is locked away. That it is, in spite of the trouble I went to in freeing it, I might add. Begrudge me for addressing you in this ill-fitting form if you must, but with control of Asphodelos wrested from my grasp, 'tis simply the best I can offer you. Hide if you will, but mark my words, I will find you and make you pay for the chaos you've sown. Now, there's no need for such hostility. A calm heart stays the course. The wisdom of La Habrea, your father. And how would you know what wisdom he speaks? Is it because that's mommy? It's Athena? I have heard those words many times. They're scolding a tutor whose students struggle to grasp the most rudimentary lessons, seething with disgust. No. I've not told that to anyone, not even keyword Hesperus. That can only mean one thing. That still you insist on mocking me. Stop this farce, La Habrea. At last you move to keep up. Pity that you remain behind, nevertheless. Oh no, they're taking him. What? As ever you are, always you fail to learn, fail to understand, fail to act. And though fate designed to offer an escape, you remained deigned to offer an escape. You remain here. You are bereft of magical prowess and common sense both. But you need not despair. Dull though you may be, you are yet indispensable to Pandemonium's great experiment. There's the affection I remember. Tell me, did I ever once measure up to your expectations? Oh, there's the affection I remember. You shall. Take pride in that, and rejoice to see your wish fulfilled. What wish? Come, and all shall be revealed. All this rage, this hatred, is but a consequence of ignorance. Our desires align more than you know. What are you? He's not kidnapping him? Uninvited guests join our reunion. It seems fortune no longer favors you. Do you think I have any interest in listening to your prattle, let alone bowing to your will? I'm no longer a child, and my faith lies with those who have earned it. So, these are the heroes who brought Hesperus low, even as power divine flowed through his veins. 'Tis plain there are worthier subjects to contend. I just realized that my staff kinda looks like, those little, like, keystone sigils that, Dark World guy was, Old Bog or whatever his name is. Kinda look like that. His little link pearl things. It has the little things coming down off the end. Thank you. If you hadn't shown up even a moment later, I shudder to think what would have become of me. There's something I must tell you. I know who's behind this. There is but one person who can hold thrall over familiar, creation, and keyword alike. Dad. Wait, what is this? Masks of the Father. Oh, look at all this materia that you get. I said so you can maybe get a little geared up for the raids. And so there can be but one conclusion. Waha Brea was the driving force behind this chaos from the start. There is logic to that. There are few with the wherewithal to even consider experimentation on such a scale, let alone the capacity to create demigods from man and beast, with the rest of us none the wiser. Considering the magnitude of his work with the convocation and the words, his relatively minor role as chief keyword comes under little scrutiny, even as it provides him the authority to wield dangerous magics. It may serve as veil and mantle both. Still, I find the notion hard to accept. The misdeeds perpetrated here could not have been done by the Waha Brea I know. You have met him, yes? Do you think he is capable of this? Yes, definitely. The Waha Brea we know is a crazy, twisted man. Waha Brea is capable of far more than you know. Is he? So you believe Waha Brea to be a man of few scruples, if it brings his goals closer in reach? That alone should be enough, but let me assure you, Waha Brea holds nothing so dear as his own ambition. While he may not be one to let emotion stand in the way of his mission, I cannot believe there are no depths to which he would not stoop. Although we met but briefly, the impression he left on me stands in stark contrast to your evaluation. Though his methods are ever unorthodox, they seemed guided by a firm understanding of what is just. There's one way to find out for certain. We delve deeper into Pandemonium and pull back the curtain on the mystery ourselves. A wise course. I would not deny the truth if I saw it with my own eyes, even if it was discomforting to behold. Then we must move forward with no excess of caution. Waha Brea, or whomever is behind this, has likely spread their tentacles into every corner of Pandemonium. We can safely assume the other keywords won't greet us with open arms. Agreed. Let us make our way through Abyssos one careful step at a time. I shall stay by Erictonius' side in case our enemies think to target him again. Could I trouble you to take the vanguard? You got it. Thank you. As a precaution, I shall safeguard you with a simple spell. This will ensure that even should we become separated, my phantom warriors will still come to your aid. Well, I don't need that. I got Azam's crystal. I can just like magic sauce myself some guardians whenever I need them. Because I just did that in the 13th there. You just hold it out and wish yourself some companions. If it does come to battle, the keyword's magic will put us at a disadvantage once again. Luckily, we have you to even the scales somewhat. I trust you shall be liberal with your weight. Nodders. Like how they played a little sound for like him casting the magic on you. The fifth circle. Well, let's go! I mean, I am on healer. And so, should be a fairly quick queue. I'll eat a burger. that's cool. It'll say if your stat is not actually hitting that maximum percent. So like that direct hit rate plus 10, I'm not getting the maximum bonus out of that. Very interesting. This is the 5th circle. We're being teleported away. Song. Proto Carbuncle. So it spikes around the edge, I assume that means death wall. Behind. Yep. Okay. Other side of the shield, I guess. Where do we stand? What is it? Lucid dreaming. You get mad at that. Stuck. Arena change. It's trying to break out. This is cool. New arena. And I still have death walls, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so he wants to yummy glummy the goopy guys. Okay. Far so good. Not too bad of a fight so far. It's pretty fun. Be exciting to see how the Savage goes. Already got the one. There we go. Right here. There. What's the other hero? I already got him. Woohoo! We did it! Nice. smiley face. That was a fun fight. Now seal him away. Proto Carbuncle. Chink. It does look pretty cool. Flare comes. I'll give my other healer a calm. Okay, what do I want? I want like rings. Right. Yay, okay. Got the ring. Or at least one of them. Yay, gotta come! Yeah, I think the rings are best because you can fill up your right side, your jewelry slots with just one each. You can bump your item level up pretty efficiently. I think that's the plan. So this is where researchers conducted on creations imbued with poisons and venoms. Ericthonius and I were conveyed not far from here. It seems our foe is finding it more difficult to surprise us. Fortunately for you, since they appear particularly keen to see you dispatched as quickly as possible. Even alone, you are a force to be reckoned with. Part of me is glad you emerged victorious, that I might observe you further. Oh, is he showing up? There he is! It's the man! The man! Red mask holder. Were the circumstances different, I might thank you for keeping my son alive for this long. But I believe we can forgo introductions, unless I have misread you. Shoom. Shoom. It's him! We never saw his face. It's the man. I'm all too familiar. Paragon. Hit him with stuff he hasn't even done yet. A charming appellation, but I'm afraid I hold no such position. No, I am Wahabrea of the Convocation of 14. If you truly are who you claim to be, then answer this one question. That can wait. No, I won't answer your question. What is this? Is that break? Now this is curious. The trap I wove at your feet reacts to aether, but you remain unaffected. Because my aether's very thin. Such thin aether, and in an unfamiliar composition besides. It is of no matter, I suppose. A more direct approach will beget the same results. I would advise you to think carefully before deciding your next action. Strike me down here, and Ericthonius' wish shall remain unfulfilled. Never again shall he meet Athena. Mother? You would dare hide behind her name. Listen well, Ericthonius. We are of the same mind concerning your mother. You have your allies for protection, so what harm is there in hearing me out? Ericthonius, wait! There's a question I must needs ask first. If you truly are Wahabrea, why speak such blatant lies? Bitter in defeat, are we? Say my name. Elwoodibus. A simple request. Themis, was it? A trifle soon forgotten, as you are. I have my answer. The Waha Brea that I knew took pride in the convocation and would never suffer its denigration. He's going to reveal that he's a Elidibus? You sully his station with this farce. Huh? Themis, what are you saying? Waha Brea and I hardly saw eye to eye, but I know his voice when I hear it. Indeed, he makes a passing fine imitation in appearance and manner. However, the real Waha Brea would never call me by the name Themis. What trouble have you gotten yourself into, Elidibus? There it is! Imposter, you have no right to claim that form, that mask. Who is this? What? Who? 'Twas a mask that sickened me to wear. The mask of Waha Brea, a man who values his position above all, who would murder his own wife in pursuit of duty. Yet you would assume my name and wield powers that are mine by right? Any worth you may have hinges on what you so despise. Such trite provocations, I will not be goaded into finishing this ere my work is done. Erchthonius, listen well. I am Hephaestus, and it is I whom you should call father. What in the name of creation? What in tarnation? We would do well to not stand idle while our enemy is about. I believe an explanation is in order. Elidibus, let us return to safety so you may provide it. Ah, that sounds more like the Waha Brea I know. Aw. Poor Erchthonius. He's not sure what's going on. Yeah, I knew you were Elidibus. Before we depart, however, I must offer you an apology. As Waha Brea said, I am Elidibus, one of the convocation and emissary of their will. For reasons which do not involve you, it was necessary to hide my identity while investigating this place. Still, that hardly excuses my deception. I had a feeling, whenever you said that. I had a feeling. Yeah, I knew you were Elidibus. Your perceptiveness does not surprise me. When the time comes, it shall make my explanation all the easier to understand. In any case, we have pressing matters to attend to. Let us do as Waha Brea suggested and return to the gates. We can speak there. Please, help him. Save him. I think that's Athena. As you are aware of by now, I am known as Elidibus. After my dear friend Azam and I detected irregularities in Pandemonium, we dear friend Azam, they were friends! We decided the best course of action would be to hide my station as I conducted my investigation. I am sure Waha Brea as well is eager to find out why I hid who I was, so I shall save that story for later. First, I would like to speak of you, my friend. Although neither Azam nor I had ever met you in the flesh, you came with her highest recommendation. That alone was enough for me to accept you as an ally without question. Wait. Azam nor I had ever met you in the flesh. You came with her highest recommendation. Is that... No, because he's talking about the current Ism, which is not Vana. Because Vana knows us, and Vana recommended us to go do this, right? That's why neither of them have met us, but Vana recommended us most highly, and so that's why they let us work. That somewhere in the world, a guiding star, so similar to herself, was out there, amused Azam to no end. There was not a shade of doubt in her heart that you would be a formidable ally. Furthermore, I have heard stories that Mistress Vana, who held the position of Zem previously, journeyed with a familiar much like yourself. That made the decision to trust you all the easier. She too now dons the white robes of an advisor. If she placed her absolute faith in you, I knew it would be in capable hands. Okay, so white robes of an advisor. Okay. Aware though I was of the path you had walked, I had no interest in exposing you. I merely wanted to meet you, to travel by your side for a while. Aww. On with the music. I may know but a small portion of your whole story, but that is enough for me to believe you would never lead me astray. I wanted to tell you that. Aww. It's just sad, like, knowing what happens to him. The keyword's jail. Cool music is over. I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, Wahabrea, and truth be told, I had hoped we never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called himself Wahabrea, and why is he the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you've only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandemonium. Did you just think matters would simply sort themselves out? Humph. I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandemonium, including the fact that Azam and Elidibus had taken it upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation, for a time that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the keywords stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. While Hephaestus's deception was almost as childish in its simplicity, it became plain to me that your grasp on the situation was slipping. So you knew of his existence from the beginning. I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another to masquerade as one of the convocation. Not without good reason, at least. As you well know, the name Wahabrea is but a marker of my station. 'Tis not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire, all the emotions that we are loath to acknowledge within ourselves. He's an evil twin! If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve? He is the product of experimentation gone awry, a reminder of the days when I was yet young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but it seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes, blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? Yeah. Was he right? His words were but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. And now that he has awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandemonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. As chief keyword of Pandemonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. What? You would leave the other warders to their doom? 'Tis a choice befitting Wahabrea. Do you disagree? You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Arctonius' response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azam and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly. It was the only way I could truly determine the best solution. And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The chief keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No! You've spared nary a thought for aught but yourself and your duty. You have no idea the trials we've endured, the foes that Wyra has stood against. Wyra, is it? A being of such aether as I have never seen. What are you? She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I would hear your opinion, Wyra. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment. You seem to give up. Wahabari can't be trusted. What was that you said about being an emissary? What was that you said about being an emissary? That's brilliant. Elidibus the emissary may speak on our behalf. Should he judge our approach the more sound, even Wahabari would be compelled to listen. As a Elidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time, seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward. Very well. Then, in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandemonium outright, and in taking time to rescue its researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured choice would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. Or did their hair just glitch out? Did they lose their hair for a minute? I was reading and I didn't quite catch it. You have yet to witness Wyra's might and Ericthonius' resolve. I would ask that you see our capabilities firsthand, and only then decide if our endeavor is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandemonium. You needn't worry about that. We won't fail. You are bolder than I remember. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Wyra, come find me when you're finished. Arcthonius is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear heads. Pray lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight might be lightened. Ba-ba-ba-ba. He's got some stuff he needs to deal with. You do have my gratitude, ill fit as I am to show it at the moment. Without your words to sway him, Wahabrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. When at first we realized the creations had slipped their bonds, the other keywords did all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world, and they don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. Besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold, secrets that would be buried if Pandemonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While Wahabrea was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more. It was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not Wahabrea that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. See that, like, weird artifact in the sky there? What do you think, Wyra? Does the Wahabrea you know have any regard for the lives of others, or will he carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? I have no idea what he might be like in this age. This age? Just how long has it been since you last met? Regardless, I'd like you to try and view him as he is now. Another opinion would be much appreciated. But it is plain to see there's much to consider. Thank you, Wyra. It's easy for me to get carried away by emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand. Proving to Wahabrea that we are capable of saving Pandemonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that will be to regain control of Abyssos. Although I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about those depths than any of us, and seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford. Wyra, would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities, and may deign to help at your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. And we run back. Run back. Run back. Big yawn time. Come on, Wahabrea, let's do part 2. Archthonius appears to have a deep trust in you, and Oedipus tells me you share some relation to Azam. Your unusual aether does not mark you as a familiar. It is unlike anything I have ever seen, even among the countless concepts I have observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand, Azam never ceases to surprise. The previous Azam was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Just as you and Oedipus have conducted yourselves in this manner. The true danger of Azam's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with. Emmett Sulk said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet you so frivolously invoked your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however. Only your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it? Although I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The chief keyword's reach is far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? Since no creations of note, perhaps they have been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they have been transferred to the deeper circles. Yet Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. I speak of hegemony, keyword of Abyssos. Although her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. If I had to hazard a guess, I wouldn't say that's because she's already been twisted into Hemitheos, doubtless against her will. Lyra, Themis, we must rescue her from that cruel fate, and if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find a means to undo the damage. Your allies make you bold, Ericthonius. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Boom. Sixth circle! Here we go! Fifth, sixth. Let's go! Alright, 3 minutes left on my burger buff. Time for another burger! And now we wait. This cute pop, but we can't step on those up. Okay, I see. I like the spooky music. Whee! Look at the shiny floor. I see, like, we're already filled with 4 DPS. We just need one more tank and one more healer. And did they make all the, like, portraits and plates, like, more official now? I need to go in and check those out at some point. Because that'd probably be a good way to do some fun information sharing. Here we go, commence. Ooh, goop everywhere! Reminds me of Ranjit. Do a little wave and chat. Look at all the bunnies in this party. Okay, so there's a bunch of tiles. Prometheus hegemony. Oh. Son. right here. Hey, that was not where I wanted to stand, huh? Oh! Double weakness down. Okay, not standing in that again. I have learned. Bossmark, what is that? Let's go Bossmark. Oh, so you gotta look out. I see. Okay. Staying damage over time. Don't stand to the side. Oh. Finish off there. Control. Face that out. crazy there for a second, but managed to revive everyone. Took a little bit of effort, but we did it. Oh. Okay. Done death wall. Ugh. Alright, well, that was a fun fight. Very much about like poisons and stuff. Kinda clutched it up there halfway through when everyone died. And only to then go and die myself to a dumb death wall. But duty complete. Chief, he's got a fun name. I want rings. Cool, I got the ring. Pass, 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 pass. I got that ring I wanted, then I'll just pass on everything else. And I'll leave. 2 comms? Okay, that's good. Better than nothing. 1. The keyword is sealed away and alive this time. However, I can't deny us now. We want the critical hit one, because that one's the best, actually. Yeah. Servant of Violence. Back to story. Quiet combat time is over. Our plan is a success, although I hardly need tell you that. Hegemon has been sealed away. Hegemony has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit in our methods. You have the right of it. I'm not so petty as to deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we disagree. Smug smile. Moreover, this being, Aether as thin as retreating mist, unable to wield creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue a Hemitheos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence puts the others at risk. Twould best be... I can't read. It would be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond pandemonium. And of whom do you speak? A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid. In this place, hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send all to their doom. So long as we each do our part and look to the allies by our side, Even a neophyte can upraise his companions. That's something that Wyra and Themis taught me. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. If my investigation has made anything clear, it is that we are together greater than the sum of our parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path, and to act before that path lies closed to us. Then tell me, what is it you hope for? To see Hephaestus in chains. That's the surest way to prevent further sacrifices. I'm aware that destroying Pandemonium would rid us of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit, I wish to know how he means to resurrect Athena. She's not dead. And there we have it. You must leave this place at once, and do not think to set foot in Pandemonium again. You are capable, that much is plain, yet Hephaestus cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow his talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, this is known. All souls return to the underworld, and Athena's is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel, and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant to the folly of Hephaestus's words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within would not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if Hephaestus has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He wouldn't pursue the impossible. Think, Erechthonius. I have already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. Is it worth bringing back your mother if it means others are used and discarded like tools? Is it worth it to see her once more? Now you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother. Please, such barbs will get us nowhere. We should first discuss... You would call me a fool? You who murdered your wife in service of your ambition, for the sake of the star, no doubt. Ugh, I can hear it again. That voice inside my head. I know who to follow. Hephaestus. Father. Mother. Oh, I love you so, and this voice will guide me to you. No, listen not, Erechthonius. Oh, no. Oh, it's the Athena voice. Listen not, Erechthonius. Apologies. You've taught me that a calm heart stays the course, but I could never even grasp the rudder. It's a little too cheerful for what just happened. Hephaestus is cunning despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Erechthonius, it made short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred and rage simmering below the surface. It was but a matter of time until it spilled forth, and that was when he fell into the spell's embrace. Magic woven with such skill that Erechthonius himself failed to notice until it was too late. If this is the measure of Hephaestus' power, then the other keywords had little chance to resist it. We saw his work during our encounter with Hesperos. Doubtless Hephaestus' magics fed his admiration and envy until there was room for naught else in his heart. And there was something else besides. Did you not feel the presence of another? Nodders. I heard a voice. A woman's voice. As I thought, someone was trying to warn Ericthonius. But whom? Could it have been one of the keywords? It was Athena. Alas, their warning arrived too late. I had already provoked Ericthonius past the point of no return. I bear the burden for this failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy, and Hephaestus knew that. And now I dread to think of the ordeal that awaits him due to my rashness. There is time yet to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold from which to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy is within reach. Let's get him. Just as with Hesperos, Ericthonios is in danger of being consumed by Hephaestus' spell. However, I have faith that he will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear. Wahabrea, pray tell us all you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandemonium is called Tartaros, and your passage shall be challenged not only by a keyword. Hephaestus has laid traps in every corner of its halls. You have no hope of surviving far past the threshold. That, I expect, is where Wyra shall shine. Her dissolute aether shall allow her to slip through the traps unimpeded. We saw it when Hephaestus had no effect, and doubtless even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. True, I'm like invisible. Then time is of the essence. Hephaestus is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. You will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. Agreed. However, clarity will be indispensable to our success. I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. Gotta tell the truth. We have yet to discern to what end Hephaestus would use Ericthonius. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. And then, there is the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Ericthonius's feelings for his mother? While I understand the very thought of resurrecting the dead is anathema, you act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friend and drives our foe if you refuse to acknowledge it? Got him! I do acknowledge it. I wish only to spare those that feel it still greater pain. You need to protect Ericthonius with your silence? Instead of being honest, you bicker like a child. And so you drove your own son over the edge. How dare you? No. No, you are right. The blame for Ericthonius' fate rests squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall bear the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. I'll tell you the truth, but only after you kill the next boss! The remaining keyword is Agdistis. She has served in Pandemonium since its inception, and her affinity for magic is peerless, even among the keywords. Hephaestus knows that losing her would mean the end to his experiments. He has hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. But your presence makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your aether means it would be trivial to send you directly to Agdistis. We shall approach as closely as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. From afar, I shall do my best to provide you with ground on which to fight, and phantom allies to aid you. As for the internment, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. I'll do it. Internment shall not be necessary. From here I can sense Agdistis' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Hephaestus was more ambitious with her than he was with hegemony. She has been transfigured such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take comfort in what a mercy the underworld will be to her. I guess that's it then. We'll just kill her. Seventh circle. Duty finder. Seventh circle. Here we go. Ooh, fast queue, huh? Good music. Yeah, she's not looking very human anymore, is she? Ooh. Aegis. Oh, it's the same song. Okay. Oh, that's a big circle. Basically, the whole arena is in range, huh? Pull that down. Oh, we gotta get in close? Looks like we're getting in close. Let's see. Okay. Oh, let's push away there. I'll get pushed. Woo! Close. A little greedy with the tabs there. We're gonna stand on the dart? Or not? We don't. Okay. I was tricked. Tricked! I mean, it's kinda obvious, but still. Forbidden fruit. Convergence of Aether, beware where they may spawn. Okay, so just don't stand near him then. deftly. Whee! How did I miss that? I go down the wrong spot. I lost my... Go that tower? This is a fun fight, but it's a little confusing, and I end up dying a lot. Okay, we made it. A little rough, but pretty cool. Another, giant tree boss, but cool. Not a GG. about here. Player com to the tank, I guess. I want ring, but pass on everything. I wanted a ring. I guess I'll have to do that fight again. That's fine. I can do fights again. It's no big deal. The moment Aegisthus was slain, the flow of aether and pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. It was almost as if we were ushered here. This space was created with care and concealed with powerful wards. Only a keyword would have been able to detect it, and even then with great difficulty. There we go. Aww, it's her spirit. If only I could restore Tartarus to order, but I'm afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It has been too long, Master Lahabrea. Likewise, keyword Aegisthus. I should not be surprised you were able to break free of Hephaestus' spell, even diminished as you were. It was not an easy task, even with your aid. Its curses dig deep into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus am I able to appear before you now. Even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestus' commands, some part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance. It even managed to speak to the outside world. The report. That was you. Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I have called out to you. The hope that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to hopelessness. So it wasn't Athena that we heard. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There is something you must know, that the tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I am about to do, Master Lahabrea, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hephaestus' fixation on Erichthonius. No longer can you hide your heart away. She Athena. Hephaestus? No, the mask marks him as Lahabrea. Master Lahabrea had brought an end to Lady Athena's life, and sealed away a part of his memories and emotions within Hephaestus. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Erichthonius. My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. We would be wise to do the same with our memory of this day. Blood should not sway the spirit so, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Erichthonius believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependence makes it all the more important to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than the knowledge that Athena thought his body and soul mere tools, to be used and discarded. Even were I to tell him what his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or with him. Should he merely hate me, he will remain unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star, far from his parents' shadow. Erchthonius loved his mother more than life itself, and yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is Lahabre's nature. Every action, every word, is solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a larger picture. I shall leave it to Lahabre to paint the rest for you, and for Erchthonius, I hope. Thank you, Aegisthus. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to get our star to the heavens? Goodbye. Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us here. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. Oh, what have we heard? What have we heard that said before? Something about bringing my full strength to bear. Aegisthus was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments. She would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still, full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. Wait. Let's have James. One final wish. The vision you saw told the story far more eloquently than I ever could. Athena was consumed by her research, and was willing to sacrifice her own child if it hastened her progress. She did not offer him a position here out of a sense of love or pride. It was merely because she knew he would be the most pliable test subject. I see now why you hid the truth from him. I cannot say with certainty that Erchthonius could handle the weight of such betrayal, after holding his mother on a pedestal for so long. Unfortunately, it seems not even her death has ensured his safety. Hephaestus has taken up Athena's research, and succeeded in creating Hemitheo. I know not what his ultimate end is, but 'tis plain it is connected with the resurrection of Athena. That knowledge alone is sufficient to direct our next course of action. As for the rest of your story, we shall hear it after we have returned Erchthonius to safety, in accordance with Aegisthus's last wish. Very well. I can, at least, assure you that finding him shall prove relatively simple now that Hephaestus can no longer bend pandemonium to his will. There is but one place left for him to find refuge, the Black Heart of Tartarus, where Athena built her testing compound. We can assume that Hephaestus will offer fierce resistance. I must focus my every effort on securing a safe means of approach. Count on me. Lahabre, I would ask that you assume the duty of summoning Lyra's phantom warriors. I have no objections. My ability to fight within Tartarus would be greatly diminished in any case. However, I wish to deal the final blow to Hephaestus myself. There is no need to dirty your hands with such a deed. I take it then that you have no intent to seal him away as before. The presence I felt when I encountered Hephaestus bore little resemblance to the entity I created. By his own hand, he has become something far more wicked, and the same magics that once shackled him may very well shatter before the power he wields. On my pride as a researcher, I am loath to repeat the same mistake twice. I would not see these events play out again, and so he must be extinguished. Then won't he, like, regain those memories, though? Oh well. Well then, I shall open the way forward. May we finish this together? Quest accepted. From 8th circle, let's go. I got a view. Someone stopped in for like a minute? Probably a bot. But hey, a view's a view. Eighth circle. Boom. Instant pop. You gotta love it. I should probably eat a burger. A boyga. Come on, DPS, hit accept. You can gather farm sand later, or farm rocks or palm logs. Get your island. You can take care of your island later. Unless they're just actually AFK, queued up and then had to go walk to the bathroom or something. Oh, wait. Eat the burger. Cannot execute it this time. Fine. Ooh.
Ericthonios is mine, heart and soul. And with your death, none will be left to stop me.
What's he transform into? Ooh, big meaty guy. Perfect imperfection. Ooh, red circles. Use the burger.
Rest eternal in the dark depths of this prison.
Alright, let's see what happens in this fight. Genesis of Flame. Yeah, it was a good thought there. That's the bubble like that.
Fulgent flame my servant's rise.
Sunforge.
Out of my sight.
Oh.
Leave naught but ash in your wake. Then sink sorrow into your heart.
Turning into monster. Look at all the bosses from the first half, isn't it?
You will know my rage.
I'll stand like right here then. that would do no damage.
Perish in flames and
Multiple fires.
and sate your boundless hunger.
Look at that. We got some of the Nemesis and Niter music in here. Big remix of the greatest hits.
I shall see my wish fulfilled. You are afraid to be consumed.
That's that. Oh, I think about that. Then we're gonna kill the Gorgons. I don't know. Throw Lily down for that. I don't know what that's gonna do, but
Sear flesh from bone.
do we want to stand on that? I feel like the answer to that is no.
Leave naught but ash in your wake. Out of my sight. Behold the fruits of sacrifice.
I'll do this jumping around thing again.
You will know my rage.
Let's see pushes out. And that way. Okay. And that way.
Praying before a god. Perish in flames and frost. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger. claim my servant's rights. A fitting death.
Yeah. That's probably not a good time to put a lily down, but...
You are brave to be
on. Come on! I don't understand that attack. Oh, shit, it's a telegraph. Almost dead. Or he's almost dead.
Vulcan claim my servant's rights.
Yay! Oh, like half of us were first timers. We seem to have a better. I mean, I guess I only died what, once? I don't know. There was. I didn't get like half of his tells, like that Phoenix attack. I didn't get that one. So, let's see what happens. This is complete. Ooh. Arctonius minion? Nice. Got my ring, so... time to just leave the duty. Oh, I got 3 comms! Even though that was not the fight that I went nutso mode in, I still got comms. Huh. The chains of events that led to this moment began with my error, when out of mercy I confined you here. Now I break it, and leave no trace of you behind. This is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. You're just gonna like kill him right here? Or transform him, or... Even a cast-off would uphold his pride. Though such an impulse must speak to the overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Hephaestus shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of Wahabrea once I fulfill Athena's ambition and bring Arctonius' dream to life. You speak as if you care a whit for the boy. Why then do you cower behind him? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see the world destroyed if it meant she could find hers in the ruins. As for Acthonius, he knows not what his wish would beget, a truth which you would have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and manipulate? My wish? You would claim the name Hephaestus and call yourself his father, yet you bind his mind and body in dark chains. Your words and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and he desires to return there. What wickedness is there in mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Acthonius, beyond how he could serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but 'tis plain you are no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed that my sole mission in life would be to guide this star true. In service to that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son, whilst an entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice, I bear the responsibility. Yet he is still my son, and I'll not suffer you to seduce him with false hope. You, who are not but the bitter dregs of Athena and I, the very worst of us. Mother, she... No, then who... How do I... Come back to us. I hear you. I owe you and Themis an apology. Athena, did you ever... And Wahabrea, I will have my say. How? His mind was mine. I can't explain why his words reached me through the haze. They rang loud and clear, as did the words of another, in a voice much like yours, but resounding with truth. Is he gonna finally master binding? When did you master these bonds? Oh, we've endured much worse. Oh, he's gonna help. You worthless, you... Ah! Ooh, spiky chains. Ooh, what's that? That looks familiar. Oh, he's tired. It appears my failures have borne fruit after all. It's a little candy. I'm gonna pull out mine. I'm just gonna ignore that. Be like, better not to complicate things. You did well, son. a compliment from Grumpy Dad. Where are we? With Hephaestus' essence contained in this crystal, we may safely return to Erchthonius above, that he would bind Hephaestus with only half his senses intact. You quite understand his adeptness in the art of internment. It was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise nonetheless. Oh, more? Okay, well I guess we gotta finish it. I thought that might be it. Okay, truth and perfect. We gotta complete the story of the raids. We have to do more. I don't have much time, but we'll get it done. I feel no trace of his face's poison in your mind, and for a blessing, it appears your body is none the worse for wear. Here comes, what's his name? Themis. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Hephaestus, and the force assailing Pandemonium's barriers has ceased. Are we rid of him for good and all? Yeah, not yes, we trapped him! He could like escape, right? I see. Despite his muddled senses, Erchthonius felt that to seal Hephaestus away was the proper course. It wasn't so noble as that. I only knew something had to be done, so I acted. Wahabrea, was that how you dealt with Hephaestus in the past? Indeed, he was not but the parts of my memory and soul that I had cut away, a mass of aether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale, of Hephaestus' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if from under the surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the Words of Wahabrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she that it was not unheard of for her to forget meals or even sleep. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, though we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. Such limitations as we were not meant to surpass. She sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. So she's trying to do what the Ascians do, where they're able to like body hop and soul hop and like exist just kind of like wherever. Was she trying to figure that out? Is that how they learned to do it? That's part 3 of the raids, is Athena comes back and figures it out, and that's how the Ascians know how to do it? For most, the thought would be an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so, especially because they say that Wahabrea was like the most prolific like body hopper, and he did it all the time, and so that would make sense for Wahabrea here for this to be like part of his story, right? As if in part 3, Athena does figure out how to do it. She comes back somehow, and then like takes over Wahabrea, corrupts Wahabrea. The Wahabrea we know is this other guy from the crystal, because that's the crystal, you know, that we're familiar with. So the Wahabrea we know isn't the one we're talking to right now. It's the one trapped in the crystal. Something like that. That would make sense. That would explain a lot of things. As leader of the Words of Wahabrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From an academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with a creation. The weaknesses of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the result could be something greater than we ever imagined. Although it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more romantic. I take it I was born not soon after. Just so. I believed she bore true affection for me, and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandemonium was built and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her the obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandemonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she could devise. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandemonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Aegisthus to keep watch from Tartarus's vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'tis best to see with your own eyes. Can we not just, like, echo reverb him to see what happened? This will just show us the memory. Is that me? Well, yeah, obviously. You are well aware that out of respect for our neighbors in Elpis, the researchers of Pandemonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick you are to rebuke me, though you yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this form from myself and Aegisthus forever. As well you know that I cannot allow it to continue. I shall say this but once. Release Erechthonius, else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I will have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist? Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping was never an option. The feelings of one weigh little against the needs of the entire star. Of course, of that I am well aware, but you did not deign to descend from your lofty heights simply to lecture me as you would a child. You have an interest in my motivations. What possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of the great Wahabrea, to embark upon the path to her downfall? History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserves one. Give me your hand, Wahabrea, and we shall know one another more deep. What? Possible you bonded your souls? Wait. And we shall know one another more deeply than ever before. Okay. Skip cutscene, no. You bonded your souls? Aye. That the boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything, to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment, my mind was a storm of questions, yet one roared the loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? I am become thee, memory and mind. And I thee. How does soul bonding work, huh? What is this new thing? Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains. And when it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption in my soul ere your rotten insight spreads. It was my weakness that let this wickedness fester, but never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion and abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was, and live only as La Habrea. Ooh, half mask. Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing within it a crystal. Oh no, did my connection die? Never did I think what I would one day face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bordered on insanity. To go to such lengths to escape your memories, you nearly rewrote your very existence. Oh, we're back. Maybe. Maybe we're back? Are we back? Okay, I think we're back. I think. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Eagle Yorm and Emmett Selk in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. As well they should have. That you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? Yeah, internet might be dying here, so sorry about that. I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole recourse should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures, and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. Hephaestus doubtless believed he was performing his duty as a husband and father should, but in truth he was but a puppet being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He thought only of seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw, you see. Our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. While I was in the thrall to Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does Valhalla speak true? Nodders. He did promise. What did? He did promise. I just want to know one thing. Did you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me, even knowing how I felt about my mother? The Laha Brea I know had a fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I have said all that I can say. Now it is for you to choose to believe me or not. The Laha Brea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in his path. So when you return to the surface, you'll doubtless don that mask once more. So before we climb out of this forsaken pit, I suppose I should say, thank you, Hephaestus. Is he gonna cry? Gotta get this finished up. I've heard enough. There's more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandemonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts on the way. Passage to Pandemonium. Is it lighter in here, or is it just me? Pandemonium weather. I owe you an apology, Wyra. It was due to my own inexperience that Hephaestus was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Thebes had chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandemonium, and I would have never known Laha Brea's story, my father's story. It was a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azem upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much of this she foresaw. I am afraid I cannot allow that, Elidibus. So long as you retain control of Pandemonium, there is work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartarus, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee